Welcome to my class. We are continuing on with Unit 2. And in Unit 2 consists of collection of data. It talks about organization of data and presentation of data. And we are right now with presentation of data, and in that we've almost come to an end. We are talking about what is known as graphical presentation of data, and in that we are doing arithmetic line graphs, and these are also known as histogram, as we talked in the earlier class, and histograms are known as time series graphs. And time series graphs are of two kinds. One is with one variable and one is with two or more variable graph groups. Now in this, what I want to point out again, or to reiterate rather, that on the x-axis we have the time given. The time is given here. It's, look at the table. Here we have the months, and here we have the months. So the months are depicted here on the x-axis, which is, the x-axis is the independent variable, and the dependent variables are shown on the y-axis. And in this case, we've taken production and sale of the firm. So they are similar units, like they are represented here in thousands, rupees, thousands. So in January, the months are given. In January it was 7.5, the production was 7.5 thousand rupees worth, the sale was 5,000 rupees, and so on and so forth. So you've got to put these dots, and that is how you're going to get the production. So let me take one or two, and so that you understand how to go about it. So let's just take the production. So in Jan, the production was, say, 7.5. So we put it right from here, 0. And Jan, I've also put from the origin itself, or start Jan here. So 7.5 will be somewhere here. So I'm going to put a dot here. Okay. So in January it was 7.5. Somewhere here. Then in February it was 10. Okay. And in March it was 7.5. Sorry. It was 10. And it was 7.5. So it comes to here. And in April it was 12.5. So it's somewhere here. Okay. So let's just, since I've written production, we're going to make this as a line. We're going to depict it as this line. Okay. So let me just make it as a line up till here. Now let's just talk about sales. In Jan it was 5, so I put a dot here. And in February it was 7.5. Okay, so it comes right up till here. And in March again it's 5, so it comes here. And in April it is 10, so it's here. So how do we show it? So it's going to be shown with the help of a broken line. So let's just make it like that. So sales and so on. It goes on like that. Alright, so this is how it goes on. And then what is important is you must write down the index as y. On x-axis 1 centimeter shows months, and on y 1 centimeter shows 5,000, the gap of 5,000 rupees. And important thing is, now what is lacking? Now I'm sure you can point out, what have I not written? Production. Now let's just write the production. So production and sale. You have to give the title of a factory. Okay, so that will be the. So you have to give the title to the graph, and that's how it will go. So I hope you've understood that what are these? What are, after all, two two variable graphs, what are they? Here, values of two or more than two variables, here there are two variables that are simultaneously shown with respect to some period of time. So here in this case, it's the production and sale of a factory in different months. So with this illustration, we just proved that we can easily show, instead of making two graphs, we can show it on one single graph. Why? So for the simple reason that if two variables are given in the same units, then it can be shown here. But if suppose they are in different units, then maybe you'll have to make another one. Okay. So that is why here we have two or more curves instead of one curve. One common scale is for the y-axis is taken, that is also for the one common scale is taken for the y-axis. Okay. And it is taken to plot the given values. Whenever two or more values are shown on the same graph, it becomes very important to use different types of lines then. So here we used say a dashed line and a thick line. So just to distinguish, and then one has to mention that also in the index, that water. Sometimes people also use different colored pens to do that. So of course graphs are very important, but there are certain limitations, that is graphic presentation is useful for a common man, but for an expert its utility is limited. There is a lack of accuracy. They do not really measure the magnitude of the data exactly. So of course they are, in a way, they tell us what are the fluctuations. Okay. And of course it is if you're just talking about a limitation for limitation's sake, of course it is time consuming, because minor differences are very difficult to show, but on a graph it becomes a little simpler. And of course mathematical calculations are much better to show where one goes. So here again, and let me just tell you, this is independent value, this is independent variable, these are dependent. So which are the dependent variables here? That is production of the factory and the sale of the factory. These two are shown as dependent on the different months. So what is a time series graph? Once again, let me just reiterate or tell you once again that time series graphs are the values of variables at different time periods. That is the thing about it. So with this we can know that at different time periods what has been the production and sale. So with that, I think we finished with unit 2. You must go through your text and see those exercises at the back, because there's nothing like what is known as learning by doing. It is important. So we will start with unit 3 in the next class, that is measures of central tendency.